Bets.
Hello everyone, this is Mike with BetBlitz. Welcome back to your source for daily sports picks. Today is a new day and we are looking to set you up with a few of some of the best picks on both PrizePicks as well as Underdog. If you're new to the channel, take a moment to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that you can have early access to our picks as soon as we post and before lines get bumped. Also, take a moment and hit the like button. We do have a like goal for this video, and if this video gets above 150 likes, we will be dropping bonus picks in our next video, so take a moment and hit that like button. And at the end of this video, let us know down in the comment section below which of these picks you will be taking, as well as the ones you won't, and any other lines that you think have a great chance of hitting. And if the picks in this video aren't enough for you and you'd like access to even more picks, click our link in the description below to gain access to the outlet. These guys are the premier sports betting community, and right now you can gain access to them for 15% off when you use code BLITZ. These guys will get you right, so go give them a look. Today we will be getting into the NBA Saturday slate of games, so again take a moment and hit that like button. If this video gets above 150 likes, we will be dropping bonus picks in our next video. For our first pick, we'll be headed over to the points plus assists tab, and this time we'll be selecting Tyrese Maxey for more than 34.5 points plus assist. Taking a quick look here on Outlier, and by the way, if you'd like to try Outlier for yourself, click our link in the description below to gain a free 7-day trial. This pick may come as a bit of a surprise to you, as Tyrese Maxey has actually only exceeded it in 4 of his last 10 games. However, going well above this line in his last game versus the Boston Celtics in Philly's opening night game, scoring a very impressive 40 points and dishing out 6 assists. Additionally, this is a line Tyrese Maxey has actually exceeded in 70% of his last 20 games, going back to last season, and in nearly 50% of the games he played last season as well. Now, Tyrese Maxey and the Philadelphia 76ers will be facing off against a Charlotte Hornets defense that this season has not been very good overall when it comes to defending against their opponents, giving up plenty of points as well as assists to their opponents overall. And when it comes to defending against the opponent point guard position specifically, the Charlotte Hornets are one of the worst teams, giving up plenty of points as well as assists to this position. So overall, we do like Tyrese Maxey to have plenty of opportunity to reach this line. Taking a quick look here at his minutes, we see that Tyrese Maxey is getting a solid dose of minutes per game over his last 10 games, near 37 minutes per game. And one of the things we do like about Maxey is the high number of attempts he is taking per game over his last 10 games. Nearly 18 attempts per game, shooting a solid 42% field goal shooting. We would like to see that a slightly bit higher, but still solid nonetheless. And from 3, he also has been very good overall, 35% from behind the arc on over 7 attempts per game over his last 10 games, going 7 of 9 from 3 in the season opener for the Philadelphia 76ers. And coming into this game, we are expecting Maxey to follow up with another impressive performance, and for him to have plenty of time as well as opportunity to reach this line. Now in his career, Tyrese Maxey has been a solid scorer as well as playmaker. Last season, 26-6, been over 50 games played, and with Joel Embiid being pretty much limited in his play by the Sixers, they are primarily relying on Tyrese Maxey to be their number one scoring option. So coming into this game, we do like Tyrese Maxey to have plenty of time as well as opportunity to reach this line. So for all these reasons, we'll be taking Tyrese Maxey for more than 34.5 points plus assist. Now for our next play, we'll be headed over to the PRA tab, and this time we'll be selecting Jaren Jackson Jr. for less than 31.5 PRA. Taking a quick look here on Outlier, we see that this line, Jaren Jackson Jr. has actually failed to exceed in 8 of his last 10 games, including in the first 2 games that the Memphis Grizzlies have played this season. Additionally, this line, Jaren Jackson Jr. has failed to exceed in 75% of his last 20 games, as well as a line he failed to exceed in 60% of the games he played last season. Now, Jaren Jackson Jr. and the Memphis Grizzlies will be facing off against an Indiana Pacers defense that has not been very good overall when it comes to defending against their opponents' PRA totals, giving up a fair share amount of points, rebounds, and assists to their opponents overall. And when it comes to defending against their opponent's center position, the Indiana Pacers are again pretty much the same, giving up a fair share amount of PRA total to their opponent's centers overall. However, ranks solidly when it comes to defending against their opponent playmaking. However, Jackson Jr. isn't much of a playmaker himself and not that great of a rebounder for his position. So coming into this game overall, we don't expect Jackson Jr. to have plenty of opportunity to reach this line. Now taking a quick look here at his minutes, we see that Jaren Jackson Jr. is getting a solid dose of minutes over his last 10 games, 33 minutes. However, over the first 2 games of this season, his minutes have not been that great, especially for a starter. Sub 30 minutes in both of the games, going even fewer minutes in the second game, and that is primarily due to the fact that Jaren Jackson Jr. has a huge fouling problem. He just can't keep his hands out of the cookie jar. Fouled out game 1 of the season and followed up with 4 more fouls, getting into heavy foul trouble game 2, averaging over 4 fouls per game on his last 10 games. Additionally, Jackson Jr. has not been too efficient from the field, especially for a center. Sub 45 field goal percentage over his last 10 games on just 15 attempts per game. And again, not too much of a playmaker, just under 4 potential assists per game over his last 10 games, which is not very good to see. So coming into this game, we don't expect Jaren Jackson Jr. to have plenty of time or opportunity to reach this line. Now in his career, Jaren Jackson Jr. has been a solid scorer for his position, but again, not too great of a rebounder as well as a playmaker. Right around 1 assist per game throughout the course of his career, and under about 6 rebounds per game on his career. So coming into this game, we do think his line is just slightly higher than it should be, and that ultimately he will fall under it. So for all these reasons, we'll be taking Jaren Jackson Jr. for less than 31.5 PRA. Now, for those of you guys who are wisely making picks with Underdog as well, we want to share with you a couple of plays that we thought had a great chance of hitting, and that is Joel Embiid for lower than 0.5 double-doubles, as well as Chet Holmgren for lower than 0.5 double-doubles. And if you guys like making picks on the traditional PRA stats, but also want to have access to making picks on whether or not players will get double-doubles or triple-doubles, click our link in the description below and sign up for Underdog using code BETBLITZ, because when you do, you'll receive a free pick as well as $1,000 in bonus cash. And right now, Underdog is giving a nice little extra bonus when you bet $5. They will give you an additional $100 in bonus cash. So if you guys aren't already on Underdog, make sure you guys aren't leaving any money on the table. And again, sign up by clicking our link in the description below, claim your free pick and bonus cash, and trust us, your profits will increase. Now for our next play, we'll be under the field goals made tab, and this time we'll be selecting Josh Giddey for less than 7.5 field goals made. Taking a quick look here on Outlier, we see that Josh Giddey has actually failed to exceed this line in 6 of his last 10 games, including in the season opener for the Chicago Bulls against the Detroit Pistons. Additionally, this line Giddey has failed to exceed in 55% of his last 20 games going back to last season. A line he's failed to exceed in 3 of his last matchups versus the Orlando Magic, as well as a line Josh Giddey has failed to exceed in 80% of his last season's games he played. Now, Josh Giddey and the Chicago Bulls will be facing off against an Orlando Magic defense that this season has not been very good overall when it comes to defending against their opponents' field goal percentage, giving up a pretty high percentage to their opponents overall. However, in Giddey's role on this team, he is primarily a facilitator for this Chicago Bulls offense, and the large part of his game focuses on passing the ball as opposed to scoring. So coming into this game, we don't like Josh Giddey to have plenty of opportunity to reach this line. Taking a quick look here at his minutes, we see that Josh Giddey is getting a solid dose of minutes per game over his last 10 games, 34 minutes per game. However, in the season opener for the Bulls, he did have sub 30 minutes, which is pretty low for a starter. And again, he finished with 11 assists in that game with just 5 field goals made, as he is the Bulls' primary facilitator. So ultimately, coming into this game, we don't expect Josh Giddey to have plenty of time as well as opportunity to reach this line. Now again, on his career, Josh Giddey has not been that much of a scorer over his last few years, just right around 5 field goals made per game. And even going back to one of his highest field goal seasons made per game, he was still under this line. So coming into this game, we don't like Josh Giddey to have enough opportunity to reach this line. So for all these reasons, we'll be taking Josh Giddey for less than 7.5 field goals made. If you're new to the channel, take a moment to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that you can have early access to our picks as soon as we post and before the lines get bumped. Also, take a moment and hit the like button. We do have a like goal for this video, and if this video gets above 150 likes, we will be dropping bonus picks in our next video, so take a moment and hit that like button. And again, if the picks in this video aren't enough for you and you'd like access to even more picks, click our link in the description below to gain access to the Outlet. These guys are the premier sports betting community, and right now you can gain access to them for 15% off when you use code BLITZ. These guys will get you right, so go give them a look. We thank you for watching, we thank you to all of our channel members, and we'll see you in our next video.